Whoa.
Hello there and welcome back to another week of stupidity, shenanigans and random fucking bullshit that we find on the internet. We have a full house this week because we have Stephen, Jordan and Jay and me. So it is a full house.
It's become a rarity to have a full house.
That's because you keep fucking off down south.
I'm sorry, I have a
You
job.
should be.
And Jordan is being silent, but he is here. Say hello.
Hello there.
There we go. You've turned Irish.
No, Jordan is sitting there with a big cheesy grin on his face because he's lost a lot of weight thanks to he's finally getting some. So he might be happy, he might be talkative.
And it might be against his will.
Hey. Anyway, we're gonna jump straight into the first topic because I feel like this is a reason why here at TakenOffAir we don't really do religion or anything like that. We sort of disagree with everything in the world, religion included. However, I think this one thing will make at least some of us like Pope Francis a little bit more, just a little bit.
In all fairness, I thought TakenOffAir was a religion. No, we praised the almighty Freddo.
No, we're our own country. We don't praise the Freddo in a religious sense. We just have it as a currency.
Jay? Jordan gave me a Freddo the other day, and then I ate it when I was at work yesterday. Does that mean I've ate a fiver?
You've ate a fiver, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Well, me and Ashley got this Dylan's desserts, and basically they gave us four bloody Freddos.
Bloody Freddos.
Or caramel. So
are they pink? Are they the 50s?
Yeah, they're the 50s that you can't touch.
no, no, nice. No, it was the caramel ones. It was, they were really
Jay,
nice.
can you remember when caramel Freddos?
Of our currency.
Can you remember when caramel Freddos were called Tasbars? And it was Tasmanian Devil.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not going down this road again because we've done it too many times.
Literally all the time.
We're not overdoing it. We're just trying to make some sort of economy, and to make an economy, we have to have meetings about this.
My excuse as to why my Freddo bar got eaten, so I lost a fiver there, was because it melted, so it was no longer a Freddo. It was just a chunk of chocolate.
It's still $2.50.
I apologise, Kyle.
Yeah, it's still $2.50.
For about an hour.
Yes, exactly.
Jordan did sit on. Jordan gave me a Freddo when he got in the car. And then Kyle got in, and Jordan sat on Kyle's for an hour, and then went, "Oh, Kyle, I got your Freddo."
Yes.
Jordan, move your mic down.
Yeah.
Or closer to you.
Move your mic down.
It is
Your mic to your face.
Closer
it's
to
on
your
the base
mouth.
of the edge of the table.
Hold it.
Hold it.
Yo.
He's
There
looks
we
like
go.
commentator, football
That's
commentator.
better. Hey,
Yes, do that. You
Here's a proper commentator.
look like a proper sport commentator. You can do a sports podcast and just sit there and stand like that.
I'm gonna get him a BBC microphone with a little mustache guard.
I've actually got some of the BBC.
That's why he got sacked, because he kept
Phones.
nicking the fucking phones.
Is that what that thing actually is? I always thought it was just like people were holding the microphone too close, so it was just like a little bit of thing so that they could hold it up to themselves,
Yeah,
but it
it
would
is.
stop them from pushing it into the face.
Yeah, it is. It's so that they basically hold that against the mustache, and then it's like the microphone's there.
Moustache,
Yeah.
you a question.
Talk about stealing from work. I've got loads of these.
We didn't say anything about stealing from work. You just threw that in. You
No, I
nicking
did.
stuff.
You're just insinuating.
Yeah.
You can
It's
use those for
Yeah,
when
I've
we
got
finally get what
location.
offers.
Can
We've got
base.
a base.
Base. The best thing is, right? The best thing is when we get an office.
Base.
He's got toilet signs. Of all the things to steal, why did you steal them? Was there just a packet of them lying over and you just grabbed the packet?
I had. No, it's just working in locations in front of my TV. I had these in my bag, so when I set up unit base, I had these pointing so people driving there could find a way to do a unit base.
The old it was just a
I
big
forgot
bag.
to
Chester.
I forgot to have my bag, so
The excuse actors use
I've
all
got lots of zip ties.
the excuse actors use all the time. Oh, I didn't steal the lightsaber from the set. It was just in my bag when I walked out. I didn't steal Indiana Jones' whip. It was just clipped to my belt while I walked out.
Yeah, I didn't steal it. My bag did. I just took my bag with us.
Hey. Anyway,
Jay,
while
we'll
Jay is
finish
finding
picking on you.
himself with location and toilet fucking signs, back to the religious shit. It's a little bit of a while ago. Actually, it's not too far a while ago. It's April of last year, so it's about a year ago, basically. Pope Francis decided holy water isn't the real holy water.
Yes, Pope Francis.
Near shit.
It's
No,
what?
this is the reason, right? A clip emerged, and it was while he was giving a speech and everything.
Did he dip his balls in it or something?
He accepted a
Pope's rule.
bottle. He accepted a bottle of Oban malt whiskey from some Scottish student priests at an event at the Apostolic Palace last year. And while he was like basically accepting it, he held it up, saying, "This is the real holy water."
Do you know what, as well?
So a pope has said whiskey is the true holy water, and
It
the
is.
Vatican tried to get it censored. The Vatican media said the quip should be cut from the film before it could be broadcast on the weekend, and it should not be shown because it's basically going against the Vatican's belief of Christianity doesn't equal whiskey.
Yeah, what is it? It's
some
not.
shit.
So
it's not treason.
Does
but
that mean? Does that mean that Scotland is the true Holy
Scotland
Land?
is the true holy land because
Well,
whiskey
what about-
is the holy water.
but
Scotland
what-
is the provider of the holy water.
What about Irish whiskey?
Oh, fuck the Irish.
Oh, Jay, that's a dangerous statement at any time.
Irish is for Guinness.
I'll go and get me Scottish jersey out, me rugby jersey, and I'll sit here and happily say, fuck the Irish.
To be fair, if you've got a Scottish team thing, you can happily say fuck anybody and nobody gives a shit because you're
Can we
wearing Scottish
We're
merch.
just ignoring the fact that the Scottish people that gave the Pope the whiskey were priests.
Yeah, it was
You would only
student
get whiskey
priests.
off a priest if they were Scottish. Scotland is so even the priests are pissed.
Yeah, it was during a 1-hour documentary about the priest school.
Oh, that's why they were. So they took some whiskey.
And apparently they'd filmed the Pope's meeting with the students during the 18-month project. The was saying that the Pope was really down to earth with them all and didn't opt for the usual procedure when handed for the bottle of whiskey as a gift. He said when they handed him the bottle, instead of just handing it to his assistant as he normally would with a gift, he held it up and said, "Questa è la vera acqua santa," which means this is the real holy water. He guffawed with laughter, and it was a real icebreaker with the students to put everyone at ease. But we'd agreed that the Vatican's media office would be allowed to approve all of our footage before we broadcast it, so we sent them the files, and when they sent it back, that bit of him saying it was cut out. We were really annoyed at first, but they insisted they didn't want the Pope to be seen endorsing whiskey.
Why?
I want to see...
In case the whiskey sales go up.
Yeah. Right.
The Pope was really disappointed because he misunderstood when he got the memo that he was going to be joined by students for 9 months.
Apostolic Palace, Scotland.
That just sounds like your thoughts. Is there a reason?
Carl's gone dead.
I'm just looking for like pictures of these priests or something. Apparently, the Apostolic Palace is actually in the Vatican, so it's a case of there were student priests from Scotland from that thing, and they must have went to Scotland or something. This fucking thing's confusing.
Kyle, I think
Yeah.
our student priests went to the Vatican.
No, it's because it's Scottish student priests that were at the palace when the Pope visited. So the students were learning to be priests and everything at the palace in Rome, but they were Scottish students, and they must have obviously brought the whiskey with them. In which case, how did they hide whiskey in the fucking Vatican for so long?
Well, they all wear dresses. There's plenty of space to hide things in there.
True. And to be honest, one of my games literally has a mission where you have to infiltrate a priesthood and you have to get like lockpicks and whiskey and wine and all sorts. Wait, not whiskey, you have to get wine and weapons and all sorts.
Is that one of your games or one of your dreams?
One of my games, Kingdom Come Deliverance. You have to break out of the priesthood.
You just said you had infiltrated. What? So once you get in, you've then got to get out.
Yeah, because you go in to try and get information from a couple of the priests, and then you have to get out because, of course, you've said a sacred oath, so you're not allowed to leave. So you have to sneak away.
Also, yeah,
So you have to break out. It's in a palace that is actually in real life. It is actually a palace, and it was never completed. In the game, it shows like the stages of it being completed, and the stage it is in the game is how it looks in real life because the money dried up and wars happen and stuff, so it was never finished.
Where's Jay going? Oh, he's back.
Jay's back. Jay's been having issues all night.
Oh.
So we may have issues in this recording session once more. Again.
Just for a change.
I don't edit this. Ashley does, so not my problem.
Yeah, but if your recording session fucks up, you're hosting, which means it will fuck up the entire thing for us.
Yeah, like the last time when we had to restart 10 minutes in.
Yeah.
What last
Oh,
time?
no,
We're professional. We don't restart.
We are professionally unprofessional.
Oh,
Or unprofessionally professional.
It's
No,
mostly
both
the
words.
webcam that fucks up shit, so I just disabled the webcam.
So you just can't see Jay sitting in his pajamas with his belly fat out.
My belly fat's not out.
Probably is.
You sure about that? I feel like as soon as the camera's off, you just lounge back, you sort of breathe out, and the gut just comes out.
And
Kyle.
He does the Homer Simpson.
Yeah, the Homer Simpson.
Jordan, Jay.
If you'd like to apply for a job at TakenOffAir, please send an email to info@stepaside.org with the subject Kyle's replacement.
If your name's Kyle or Jordan, that's even better because we can just get rid of one of them and we don't have to change the names at the bottom of the screen.
Aww, I love you. You're an adorable teddy bear. Don't worry about it.
He's still calling you fat, just in a nice way. It's like a backhanded
Well,
compliment.
no, because teddy bears are adorable.
He's been called as
They're
fat
also
all day.
small and fat.
To be honest, I've been calling you fat all day, but I've been calling you a teddy bear since like high school, so you know.
Talk about email addresses and for Kyle's replacement. You also can contact us at Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Cheers, professionals. You can also contact us at Twitter.
Twitter. At
You can, also
TakenOffAir.
contact us. You can also contact us at Twitter.
Yes,
Oh, you
watch out for a post coming soon, hopefully, and like literally keep your eyes out for it because immediate action will need to be taken.
All will be revealed
Soon.
Anyway,
Anyway,
Jordan's going to reveal himself online.
Jordan, talking about revealing myself
goes into the thing,
and
I want to
calling
give
it
everyone
Twitter,
our phone number
Jordan,
out so
you
they can
have a
call
topic
us.
about a
You can
wanker.
call us at 0800 00
Let's stop
1066.
Who's he? Which king is it?
Right, so we've just established that we've
1066. I knew you were going there, and I don't know why. Genuinely
No,
didn't
because that's going to
rehearse
happen.
that.
Can we
Okay,
can we
Jordan,
pick a
tell us how
different
you're a
war,
wanker.
more obscure war with England versus the French, so we can have that as our phone number?
0800 00 1939.
0800 00 2021.
If 2020 was an all-out war.
Then that would be about Boris, but we'll not get into that.
Oh, well, there is a war starting at the minute, to be fair.
Exactly.
Yeah, Boris is starting on the French again.
That's not what I meant. There's an actual war
Mike to the
starting.
mouth. Do you
No,
want
we're
to
not going
Yeah.
to discuss on here.
No.
Anyway, wankers, Jordan. Or wanking.
Wanking.
You have a quiet voice.
Who is this wanking?
Right,
Sport mode.
I'll go sports mode.
Yes, engage sport mode.
Well,
Why can't this be my boss?
Can you picture Jordan's
the
sports
topic
mode?
is boss lets staff take masturbation breaks at work. The boss of an adult entertainment company offers her employees half-an-hour daily masturbation breaks after finding they had become agitated during lockdown.
Well, they're
This,
already home.
this looked a lot more interesting before I knew that it was an adult film industry thing. I thought it was legitimately just like an office space. I thought it was legitimately like an Apple office space or some shit where they just went, yeah,
No,
fuck it.
but wait till I
I
tell you
don't know if
wait till I tell you the
Kyle
name of
is
the
a
Apple
boss.
Apple
wankers, you're right.
Wait till I tell you the name of the boss.
Oh god, it's going to be a made-up porn name.
Erika Lust.
Well, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Boss of Erika Lust Films is hoping to normalise masturbation by allowing her 36 members of staff and half an hour masturbation break.
To be fair, it's not abnormal in her industry. She's not revolutionising it there, is she?
It's not abnormal, and also half an hour isn't very long.
And has the
How you got to
I
learn
allow-
quicker when you just flick a wall
I
off the
bet-
wrist.
by allowing her 36 members of staff for half an hour every
I
half
bet,
an hour
right.
every day. And has even
Well, yes.
and has even set up a private masturbation station at the office.
Dude, have you ever seen a masturbation tent?
Okay. One, that would be a horrible shared area. Two, if it's an adult film industry, how long do you reckon until it becomes a glory hole station?
Have you ever seen a masturbation tent?
No.
No, I haven't. I don't want to.
Oh, Stefan, to break the topic, do you want to hear something that you wouldn't think would never happen?
Go on then.
Go for it.
Newcastle are beating Man City 1-0.
Jordan, just because you went sports mode doesn't mean you can actually thingy on the sports.
Right, I'm gonna jump in then. I'm gonna talk about, since we quickly mentioned the UK and France. Sorry, Jordan, was there any more to that topic, or was that done?
Before,
Just
well, I'm
basically,
not-
the decision
I want to say,
that
right,
made
I
to
bet-
have them do this
I
was
bet they're
because she felt that
biased.
they were agitated and were performing with less energy during the pandemic.
It's like the actors can't have,
No shit.
can't have a wank.
Can you see
Yeah.
my screen? Yes.
Why are you looking at quarantine
You see my
vaccination
screen?
mishap?
Yes.
Sorry, I was reading your tags.
What?
It's literally hasn't even got 5 stars. It's got
No,
3.5
that's a YouTube
stars.
video I'm watching. This is the important thing.
It's just
No.
one, who reviews those
6
things, and two, for anybody that can't see it, it is basically, you know, those one-person saunas that you see advertised, where it's like a portable sauna. It's just a quick setup. You zip up the front. It's just a
Stefan?
one-man sauna. That's basically what it
I want
is,
you
but
to
without the
find
sauna
Nice
function.
refuse. Find Lusk's
Yeah,
refuse.
that's the privacy cover. Yes.
Find the 6 reviews. I want to know.
Oh, hold on.
That's
Do it.
your job while I talk about the UK and Spain.
Yes.
You know how we own Gibraltar?
Wait, yeah, British territory, yeah.
Yeah, Gibraltar's British territory. Apparently, in the early 2000s,
Yes.
the UK, us and Spain, nearly came to an agreement to share sovereignty over Gibraltar, which sort of makes sense because it's closer to Spain, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was put to a vote, and 99% of the population of Gibraltar rejected Spain having any sort of sovereignty over the rock, so it remained a British territory.
Yeah.
99% of Gibraltar decided, no, fuck you, we want to stay British. I can guarantee that 1% was either the Spanish people visiting or British expats that just could not be asked.
Yeah. Sorry, I know I'm not very talkative. I'm finding the fucking reviews.
No, it's fine. Also, God Save the Queen isn't the it isn't.
Oh.
It's the national anthem of Gibraltar. It's the national anthem of Britain. It's not the national anthem of England. We don't technically have one anymore.
He's found a refuse. He's found a refuse.
Jerusalem.
Yeah, we've got an unofficial one, but we don't have any official ones for England, which
Dude,
means
are you ready?
if we ever split up the UK,
I
We
found
need to
some
make
reviews. One guy apparently used it as a portable toilet when he went fishing. I have this to a camping and hunting on fishing trips. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, camping on hunting and fish trips. And occasionally a buddy will tag along. This creates tent space that is easy to pop up as a shelter. It's tall and deep enough to handle a human and a bucket if desired. I already used it on a recent trip, and I put my toilet bucket in there, using extra room for changing sometimes, and of course the bathroom. It held up nicely in a pretty strong rainstorm.
Yeah, why not?
Not the easiest to fall back into the original shape and its carry
Yeah, what's
bag,
the
but I
next one?
imagine I'll get better at that over time.
I mean, to be fair, if you want privacy, why not?
I know, but still. Oh, yeah. One guy too started and went, beware of restocking fee if you return this item. Do not expect a full refund. It's like, try to return it. Dude, bought a pair of these adjusted the 50 with free shipping from Dick's Sporting Goods.
Dear Lord.
Oh, holy shit. He complains that he's 6'2" and he doesn't really fit there very well. They should do a larger size, apparently.
Can't you
I'm
just
not reading
not
all
the
that
dedication
because
to
it's
the sport.
literally a fucking page of writing. Oh. They're the only reviews I can find.
Right. Stefan,
Yes.
you... I do love the dedication. Stefan,
Yes.
you like funny names. You usually always have a funny name when we do recording sessions,
Do.
and you always find the real-life people to do it.
Yes.
This name is legendary, but at the same time, newspapers managed to get it wrong by adding a bit.
Okay.
Okay? Then it's Karl Theodor Maria Nikolaus Johann J. Jakob Philipp Franz Joseph Sylvester Frecher von Unzu Gutenberg. Right?
Right.
That's it. He was appointed a minister, but newspapers somehow got his name wrong and decided that there wasn't enough names there.
Hold on. You said somehow I got his name wrong. I think it's obvious how they got his name wrong.
Well, no, they didn't miss out any of the bits or get any of the bits wrong. They correctly reported all of his name and added Wilhelm to his name.
Well, why not?
I don't know how they did it, but they added it all on. He is.
Hi.
It says German media got itself into a little bit of a muddle over the past week covering the appointment of Karl Theodor von Unzu Gutenberg as Germany's new Minister of Economics. He's got the longest name in the history of the world. I think he'll do well as Germany's economics person.
Dude.
The media all seemed to be asking themselves, who is this 37-year-old baron from Bavaria, and does he have the right stuff to help Germany? They got straight down to business trying to poke fun at him, but it's got a picture of the newspaper clipping, and you can't actually see. They've added it into the middle of it, so not even at the end. His name is Karl Theodor Maria Nikolaus Johann Jakob Philipp Franz Joseph Sylvester von Unzu Gutenberg. And what they did was added in the Wilhelm in between the Philip and the Franz. So it was literally sort of in the middle of the name. They just decided, fuck it, we're going to put Wilhelm in there.
Wow. I mean, that's quite impressive that they just... Do you think that's how he got that name? Like, at the beginning of von Gutenberg, and then every time he got a newspaper clipping around, someone just added in a name.
Do you want... It's actually got the reason why it was added to his name. And this is proof that journalism is dead and that we are the only true journalists in the world now.
What, us four?
Yes.
Oh, that's fucked.
The world's not had
All the newspapers, because they had strapped for time journalists and publications doing it, looked at the Wikipedia entry for the minister's
thought was
name.
audible, whoever it was.
However, the Wikipedia entry was edited as a joke, and Dr. zu Gutenberg acquired an 11th name of Wilhelm.
Okay.
So, Germany, that's the complete German sense of humour. Instead of editing it to make him sound funny or sound stupid or anything, they literally just added an 11th name to his already 10 names.
Well, speaking of crazy names, right, ironically, or maybe not ironically, do you know who was the best-selling artist of, if you give us a second, I think it was 2016.
2016.
Yeah,
What are you looking for?
yeah, it was 2016. I've got it. So according to the Billboard, they sold a total of 1.25 million CDs in 2016, which beat Drake, Kanye, and Beyonce.
Who did?
Well, that's what you're trying to determine. Who do you think it was?
Who did they beat? Kanye, Beyonce, and
But has beaten Drake, Kanye, and Beyonce, who were the closest to them in 2016. In 2016 alone, this artist sold 1.25 million CDs.
I feel like it's going to be something like there was a film or biography or something stupid. So it's either going to be something ridiculously stupid
Was it
like the
about
Shrek
Adele?
soundtrack, or it's going to be something like the re-emergence of Queen or the Beatles or something.
What?
It is not a soundtrack, it is an artist. No, it wasn't Adele.
She was still on that skinny break by that point.
Jordan. Would you like
Jordan's
a clue?
on his skinny break. Yes, I would like the clue.
Would you like to know?
Because I don't do music.
Would you like to know, minus his surname that will give it away, what his name, what he was, what his christened name was, basically.
Come on then.
Right, you're gonna have to bear with us a second because I do have to find because I don't know what the fuck I put it. He was christened Johannes
no idea.
Chrysostomus Wolfgangus Gottlieb Theophilus.
I feel like I've heard that somewhere,
You may have.
but I don't know enough about the music charts to know anything because I don't listen to the charts.
Why?
You may know him as Wolfgang Amadeus.
Ah, Mozart.
Mozart was the highest selling artist of 2016.
I wonder if there was some sort of like film or something that had
No,
Mozart.
no.
I can tell you exactly why.
Mozart is amazing, and I highly agree he should be at the top of the list along with Beethoven and Vivaldi.
Yeah.
But you know,
I know basically a record label produced a CD that was called Mozart 225, the new complete edition, which was a 200 CD collection of over 240 hours of music, which was every piece of music he composed, and included additional hours of reading material, including some of his memoirs. So they sold 1.25 million of them, so he became the highest selling artist of 2016.
fair do.
Which is mad. But no, so he was christened. This is what, when I looked into it, it was really weird. So he was christened, he was baptized as Johannes Chrysostomus Wolfgangus Theophilus Mozart, right? But later his father decided to drop his two first names because when he was preparing promotional literature for when he was taking him on tour, because he took him on tour when he was really young, he was like 9 when he took him on tour.
Oh yeah, his father was one of those like really beat the music into him types, I think.
So they dropped him because, and then the Amadeus come into it later because basically they were multilingual. So he was christened Gottlieb, which is German for love God, but Amadeus means exactly the same in Latin, so that's what it became. But for a lot of his life, actually it was Theophilus, and when he was christened it was Theophilus because it was Greek. So it kind of got dropped, and then he was never actually. There was one recorded instance of him signing something Wolfgang Amadeus, and it was he used the Amadeus as like a satirical kind of thing,
like a moniker or something.
Yeah, and it wasn't until after his death that he was recorded as Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, and that's what everyone thought he was called.
Fair do.
So yeah.
Which one is it? There's one where the widely known as being German or something, but they were actually Belgian or Bolivian or something. There's like one where everybody thinks they came from one country, but they're actually from the smaller neighbouring country. It's just because they did all the big performances in the big country.
As there's a few people, a lot of people thought Wolfgang was German, but he's Austrian. Same with like Hitler. A lot of people that were in Austria at some point, a lot of people assumed was German.
Yeah. Speaking of Germany and stuff, because I'm going to continue with the Germany things, I mentioned to you guys a bit ago, like a sort of spoiler, that there is there was a German town in World War II that was left untouched by bombs for a very strange reason. Would you like to try and guess the reason why it was left untouched?
Go on then.
No, I want you to guess at least once.
Why was it untouched?
Yeah, so it was completely not bombed, like untouched. It survived the entire war without receiving a single bombing strike.
It wasn't on any British maps.
Nope.
Nobody knew it was there.
Well, that might be part of it, but not exactly.
It's in the arse end of nowhere and we didn't give a shit about it.
Nope.
It was so well fortified that our planes couldn't get near it.
Nope. Think stupider.
Think stupider.
Yes.
It was the first town we came to, so we just kept flying over it and ignoring it and go further inland.
No, you know how both countries, in order to try and hide the towns and stuff, they did blackouts.
Well, it didn't. We thought it was like a joke, like a piss take.
Honestly, this town, apparently it's so close to the border of Switzerland that it decided, instead of doing the blackout and making it look like it's part of Germany, it kept all the lights on and in fact turned more lights on to make it more illuminated, and we all thought it was part of Switzerland because it wasn't blacked out and it was on the border.
Dude, isn't there... I'm sure there's a hotel or something in that town where you can stay.
It's called Constance.
Yes, I'm sure there's a hotel in that town. I might be thinking of something else where you can stay where if you're in one side, you're in Germany, if you're one side, you're in Switzerland. And there was people who were in Germany, Jews and stuff, that obviously would get persecuted in Germany, who would basically couldn't cross the border because, you know, they'd be killed or whatever. So they would go into there and cross to the Swiss side through the hotel, or through that building, as it were. I don't think it was a hotel at the time, in order to not be persecuted, kind of thing. I'm sure that was something I've read somewhere.
Yeah, I'm having a look.
Could be wrong.
It's That's
what I thought it was called.
It was the birthplace of Count Ferdinand von Zeppelin, the constructor of the famous Zeppelin airships. And it is a popular destination for Einkaufstourismus, which is cross-border shopping by the Swiss due to lower prices on basic items in Germany. So they used to just hop the border by walking through the town.
Do you know there's a... I'll come back to that crossing borders.
It's sort of half old town, half large town. It is actually got World Heritage Sites. It's home to one or more prehistoric pile-dwelling settlements that are part of the heritage sites around the Alps. In 2007, the University of Constance, being one of the 9 German universities most successful in the initiative, has gained considerable reputation as a so-called elite university, and it was founded in 1966. It houses an excellent library with approximately 2 million books, all freely accessible 24 hours a day, as well as a botanical garden.
Yeah.
I'm just looking. The city skyline is dominated by Constance Cathedral. Several other churches and 3 towers are left over from the city hall, one of which marks the place of the former medieval bridge over the Rhine.
Yeah.
So it's literally it's not like it wasn't in a part of the war, it wasn't in a zone of the war. It's just because it was so close to Switzerland, they left the lights on, and people thought it was part of Switzerland.
Right,
just didn't bomb it.
The whole crossing borders thing, I knew I'd read this somewhere. So, basically, because of I might be saying this wrong, but Glyndwr Rebellion of 1403, Prince Henry, Prince of Wales, which is future Henry V, was also Earl of Chester, right? And on the 4th of September 1403, because of the Welsh Rebellion, he ordered that all Welsh people and Welsh sympathisers should be expelled from the city. This is Chester. None should enter the city before sunrise, and none shall stay after sunset, on the pain of decapitation, not hanging, but it basically would be the same effect. There are records of people standing... Welshmen were arrested under this order, and there was people like touting that they were like good people, they were good behaviour, they weren't doing anything wrong, kind of thing. But yeah, the textbooks don't refer to anyone ever receiving the maximum quote unquote penalty for this crime or whatever. But yeah, but it's never been appealed. Repealed. It's never been repealed. So technically, if there is a Welshman in Chester after dark, you are legally allowed to kill them. However, there are certain laws. So, the thing is,
it's like the British law where it's you have to you've got mandatory 2 hours longbow practice because it's harder to erase a law than it is to just make one on top of
Henry
it.
V signed this because he was Earl of Chester at the time, right? But he was Welsh himself.
So
but he's king.
And the other thing is,
he gets away with it.
The other thing is that there's no evidence of this law ever being repealed, so technically it still stands, right? But it has been superseded by other laws. So in some cases, there is the contradictory situation. So, for example, in this one, you're not allowed to obviously murder someone, yeah?
Yeah.
But technically, this law still stands. So, a Welshman is not allowed in the town after dusk with the penalty of death or whatever. So, technically, you would be allowed to maybe shoot them, but not kill them. But you're also under law wouldn't be allowed to harm him, harass him, or endanger his life in any way. So that isn't shooting him both harming and harassing him, even if you don't endanger his life.
Well, I'm guessing the second law came in on top of it, so it's a way to prevent the first law.
Yeah, but it's never physically been repealed, so you could just quote this law from 1403 and go, well, he was in Chester after dark, I'm allowed to shoot him. You're also allowed to kill a Scotsman in the city of York if they are carrying a bow and arrow.
So just hand a Scotsman a bow and arrow and say, stand there.
And then shoot him. Yeah, we have loads of weird laws that just don't get checked out.
It's honestly, it's that stupid thing of in the law system of laws, it's harder to erase or repeal something than it is to just put a law on top of it. So, for example, the one you've just said, the reason that they've said you can't cause harm or anything is literally so people can't follow the first law, because that would mean you're breaking the second law by following the first law.
It's just mad, though.
It's loads of random stuff like that. Like it's there's every country has them as well. It's not just here. Every country has those sorts of laws. I'm pretty sure there's a couple in Australia that are quite similar. But yeah, the law systems are basically fucked. People in law get your fucking shit together. Basically, parliaments and shit like that need to get better at saying no.
Yeah, definitely.
Say no.
Kyle?
Yes.
Do you know that when somebody's upset and you say to them, go to bed, you'll feel better in the morning?
Yes. No.
Isn't that the human equivalent of turning them on back off and on again? Yes,
it is. And it works, because it resets the brain function. It works perfectly. I'm gonna, because I was talking about the University of Constance, I'm gonna talk about a different university, but I'm gonna we're gonna take you back to the year of 1969.
What a year.
Wouldn't know what there.
This is the University of Washington. So unfortunately, it's not a good university.
Yeah.
But apparently there was a student protest in the area. Would you like to know how they got rid of the protest?
Kill them.
Shot them.
Shoot them all. It's America, yeah, they would have shot them, definitely. We're looking for specifics. Shot them with
a shotgun.
Well, I was going for it would be something daft, like, with the water cannon. People are beanbag them because it's not harmful, but it breaks all their ribs.
Nope. 2 Eastern Washington farmers were tucking beehives across the university campus, and the bees, quote unquote, air quotes here, accidentally escaped, causing a swarm of bees to attack the students.
Do you know you can rent bees?
Can you?
Yeah, they're transported on trucks. They live on trucks, and you can rent a beehive, and it'll come and do its thing. And it's for
I'm guessing that's what the university did.
Yeah.
But it was the farmers claimed this was an accident, but nobody believed them. Leftists, rightists, neutrals, and police were stung by the bees, which were both Appian and apolitical.
Really?
Did the
bees didn't pick
university
sides.
did the university administration actually invite the bees to campus? The answer, as it turns out, is undoubtedly yes. A former campus police officer who was on duty at the time relates his perspective on the honeybee question. I was on the board, blah, 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 and his vice president running a radio link to the people at the site of the demonstration. Before we went out, we were told they had information that someone would try and disrupt the demonstration with honeybees, and that anti-venom was laid in at the student health centre.
What
Sure enough,
anti-venom? They're not rattlesnakes.
Sure enough, a pickup truck arrived on campus and was allowed to enter. There were strict route controls on traffic entering campus, so obviously it was let in. They opened the doors for them, and the truck stopped right in front of the demonstration. A man got out and got in the back of the pickup and started opening hives. The farmer was allowed to leave campus and was never questioned. I remember running the license plate and showing the name and address to the people in the boardroom. They weren't at all interested.
There are so many good layers to this. They were accidentally let out as a guy just got up and casually started opening beehives.
Yeah. And they had anti-venom. I'm assuming they had that anti-venom in case anybody had like an allergic reaction or anything.
Yeah,
'cause
like,
some people do react to the venom really badly.
Yeah, but then isn't it not anti-venom? It's just basic, like what you would give to someone who has an allergy. What do you call it?
No, I think bee venom, I think it does react with some people the same way like that snake venom and stuff would react to them. So you do have to actually give them an anti-venom.
You'd have to be
I'm
stung by a
assuming
lot
it's easier.
of bees.
I'm assuming it's easier to synthesize than it is to synthesize snake venom, but yeah. I just love the fact that they had strict traffic control, which everybody would have known about. So it was pretty obvious they opened the gate for the truck to get in.
I mean, it was more obvious when a guy got out and started going, "Oh, whoops!" Them bees have escaped, and then walked away.
I think the obvious bit was when he pulled in right in front of the protest,
Exactly,
and then got up into the back of it.
Please tell me he was blasting Three Little Birds by Bob Marley and singing along.
I mean,
you know what?
It's 1969, so was Bob Marley around then?
The thing is, right, that he turned up in a pickup. Is there anything more American than this? You know, like, I know, thought there would be. So how we're going to do that? We'll get Cletus City's pickup truck to come down with these beehives.
Apparently, it was an attempt to it was an attempt by the students for a democratic society to shut down the corporate recruiting at the university's hall.
Well, they learned a lesson there, didn't they? That's how democracy works. You think you're voting for something, but really you've got no fucking control over it, and they'll set bees on you if you try and go against them.
Basically sounds like there was a peaceful protest from the students trying to shut down corporate recruiting at the university, which I can get behind completely. And in response, the people at the head of the university just decided, right, get Bill from down the road, we need his bees.
It was a sting.
The police officer, that's Jay broken.
Yeah.
Well, my heart,
You can tell Jay's tired.
And the podcast there, Jay's broken.
Yeah, Jay's bringing out his fucking Joker laugh.
So, lads, have we learned that when we get our own little island and make our own country...
We could just set bees on people because it's not illegal.
Yeah,
that's our crowd control. To be honest,
I'm game for that.
Two things. One, the police officer was called David Wilmer. How awesome! That's just a great name. And two, he's
He's just a Fred Flintstone.
bees. Oh, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, you know how you can get the jars of honey, and it's got a honeycomb in it.
Yes.
I want to try one of those because I don't think I've ever tried it. But they're always the most expensive thing in the world, and I don't want to try the ones that are in the supermarkets. I want to try
Kyle,
a local farmer's market. So I want to go to like a local farmer's market and buy just a jar of honey that's still got the honeycomb in it.
Right. At our local village fair that we do, Kyle, you can get, there's beekeepers that come down, you can buy them. That's the first point, so you don't have to go very far.
I know. Monmouth
Secondly,
Market probably has it as well.
Honey is a little bit expensive, especially like organic honey and natural honey and stuff, right? But I don't think it's the most expensive thing in the world, really.
It's not,
being
but
honest.
the way my brain processes it though is I want
Have you
to
ever
try
tried
the
to buy
honey.
Kevlar?
I want to try the honey with the honeycomb in, but my brain will be looking at the if I go to a supermarket, my brain will be looking at that and seeing that costs like £5.70 or something, and then it'll look to the left and see a bottle of squeezable honey for £1, and my brain cannot allow me to spend £6 on honey when I can buy honey right next to it for £1.
Yeah, I know, but the honey right next to it with the £1, the bees have been putting little milking machines with little fucking things on them that, like a cow's.
That's an image I want to fucking see, is bees just in a little milking
Someone
station.
milking a bee.
So we've worked out that Kyle's brain will not let him spend more than
Yeah, well,
than
he has to
spend
go to a
1.5.
local fair just because he can't condition his own brain.
Yeah.
I don't like spending money unnecessarily, so if I know that I can get
You
honey,
bought a
which
fucking
will-
air rifle.
Yeah, that was out
You
of
bought
necessity
wax
of a
seals.
hobby. Yes, that's because I want to
You
take up
bought
calligraphy and it's
alcohol.
fun. That's because the bottle was nice.
Exactly, you're saying
drink
waste so
alcohol,
much
and
money.
you bought alcohol. It's not as necessity, Kyle.
No, it's the things of I can do stuff like that because it's things like that. But if you'll notice, if you saw us buying the wax seals, I spent an hour looking through all the different wax seals until I found the one I liked, and then I compared prices for another hour until I found the cheapest version I could get.
Kyle.
Oh, hi.
Kyle,
Yes.
I'll give you 4 Freddos for all your alcohol.
Fuck off. Are you joking? I've got like 100 quid's worth of alcohol just sat on the shelf up there.
And it's going to waste.
It is going to waste. There's like 3 bottles of Kraken, Hotspur gin,
3
some
bottles of
gin
crack.
from some gin from Anna Castle, a small bottle of Kraken, a bottle of what was it? It was a It was a Winter Walker special thing for Game of Thrones. It's it's a whiskey. It's Jim Walker or something. But
Jim Beam.
No, it's like a
Johnny
a
Walker.
brand with Walker in its name.
Johnny Walker.
Johnny Walker, that's one. It's Johnny Walker, but they did a Game of Thrones special, so he's
Jim
dressed up
Walker.
as like a Winter Walker thing.
White Walker.
So it's literally that's the one, White Walker.
Get all
They're
of the
fucking
names you're
Winter
getting wrong.
Walkers.
Can we not just have a party at Kyle's house?
Yeah. No, because we'll ruin all these nice balls by making them all empty and shit.
No, Kyle can be the barmaid.
Kyle was a barmaid for a long time.
No, this is the thing. I have special edition Kraken bottle. I don't buy just normal Kraken bottles, by the way, people. I buy the
Let's play
special
September.
editions that come out at like Christmas and stuff. Okay, and I've got 3 that are unopened, and one was opened by my uncle when he came over from Australia, and he finished the entire bottle in one night.
Do you know when you have shower thoughts?
Yes.
My next one's more of a conspiracy theory, and I think you'll get this one.
Well,
man.
Kyle buys booze so he can poison everybody
No,
else
it's
eventually.
nothing to do with
Me
this.
and Ashley have a lot of shower thoughts.
Right. Well, one of them is, what if plants are farming us?
Technically, there could be.
Because if you think about it, we plant plants, they take in carbon dioxide out the air and put out oxygen, and they grow and stuff, and then we pick them, eat them, do whatever we do with them. But really, humans are born, plants need to breathe in carbon dioxide, but there's not enough of it in the world without stuff breathing it. So we do the opposite process. So we breathe out the carbon dioxide they need. And then when we die, right, we then basically get broken down into the soil and then they feed on us. So what if plants are farming us?
I get the really sneaking suspicion that plants would find a far more efficient way of doing it than having humans, considering they are animals that live far less, produce far more carbon dioxide in their lifetime.
Well, no,
live
it's just
for far
animals
less,
in
which means
general.
which means they can become compost and decompose and supply
but
nutrients to the
If
soil.
you're a
far
dandelion, it's going
more
to take you a
often.
long time to eat a cow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
but
other day, have you ever watched David Attenborough?
also human shit is like the worst thing for fertilizer.
It's not about the shit,
Have
I
you
wonder
ever-
when you die. And it's not, it's
Have you
good
ever watched
fertilizer.
Some of it's
David
bad.
Attenborough, Kyle?
Some of the chemicals and stuff that we have now, it's slowly getting worse and worse.
Just trying to
Kyle.
be Dave.
Yes, Jordan. Jay. Yes.
Oh, God.
It's because Jordan hasn't spoken for a while. I just saw him drifting off. It's like, Jordan, pay attention. Okay, Jay, go.
David Attenborough had a series about the minuscule of like life and how plants use like small insects to carry around seeds, like
And
bees,
birds
basically,
sometimes.
and birds. But bees are the biggest. Let's go back to the bee theory. Not back to bee.
Yes,
Let's go
good. Back
bees.
to bees. Bees are the best.
Bees.
Do you know
help
there's a bee
plants
stylist that
reproduce.
like brushes a bee's hair and stuff?
You know there's a bee charity. I'm really tempted to actually like.
Is
get
it
a
called
pin
Be
from them.
Happy?
I'm not too sure what it is. I think it's just called Support the Bees. the
Or the emotional
What was
support
it?
after the bee milk.
What was it? I saw the other day. It was something to do with bees, and it was something ridiculous. Like there's like a type of bee that has a ridiculously stupid job. Also, the bees are getting fucking bigger. I don't know if it's the pollution or what, but the bees are getting bigger and bigger
Dude,
every year.
There is a bee.
Like
There's a bee that lives inside snail shells.
Crab bees. Like I was saying, right? So David Attenborough had a whole series about minuscule insects helping reproduce our planet and with using plants.
Yes.
And it says that the plants use the bees and other insects to basically reproduce and have sex, so they can have more flowers. Same with birds, they use that. Right. So going to Stefan's shower fort,
To use everything.
technically, plants are the master race because they utilize every single living thing on Earth
Yeah.
to keep this species going.
Even elephants and rhinos shit out like berry seeds and stuff and grow new bushes.
To do.
yeah.
But then
And
this goes.
if you spend £95 on like 100 kilo, or not 100 kilo, on a 10 kilo bag,
Of course,
is it 10 kilo? Or is it, no, it's not kilos, it's gram. A 10-gram bag of black ivory coffee. They basically make elephants eat coffee beans, and when they shit them out, they put them in a bag and send
It's
it
the
off
same
to
as Kobe Lupwak. It's
yeah,
the
but
Asian
they use
the Asian civet cat, which is a cat that is found only in the forests of Asia. It's like a tiny little weasel thing, and it eats the coffee plants, then shits out the beans, and then they make Kobe Lupwak.
Kyle's face is the best.
I'm confused as to how we managed to go from bees and plants being the best and most efficient things on Earth to
Jungle weasel shit in your coffee.
People buy coffee that's been shit out by a cat in fucking
Well,
forests.
no, it's an Asian palm civet, so it's not technically a cat.
But okay, it's been shit out by
It's
an
like a
animal
little
in a
weasel.
forest.
Yeah, go for it.
How
I want to know
does-
who's following these round, picking out one bean at a time.
I want to know who the fuck had that idea.
I
That's
bet
just
it wasn't
sick.
palm civet.
Google it.
That's true. Fuck's sake. I don't want to Google it. I don't want my search history to say fucking coffee that an animal shit out. Where did it come from?
Kobe
Where did you go?
Lupwak.
Where
Kyle,
did it come
there's
from?
worse things
Cotton
you
eye
could-
fucking
Kyle,
Joe.
there's worse things you could be
Because
Googled.
Lupwak or Luwak. Kobe Luwak.
Yeah, true. My search history does have much worse things in judgment
Well,
from half the
mine now
topics.
has portable masturbation tent in it, so.
But seriously, a single pack of black ivory coffee is £85.
That would be a case of you would never open it, you would never drink it. It would just be there for the sake of having it. It's like those celebrity things where it's like everything's massively overpriced for no fucking reason.
See, Kobe Luwak's
that's
a
cool.
bargain. How much is that, Kyle? Sorry, Kobe Luwak?
I
Sorry,
don't know.
how much is the elephant chair one?
Elephant chip one, you can get a coffee machine and 3 packs for £510.
Yeah, but how big are the packs? How many grams?
35 grams.
So
So-
tiny.
Yeah, so you can get 200 grams of Kobe Luwak for 50 quid, and you can have it as roasted coffee beans for a percolator, for a cafetiere, Turkish coffee, espresso, or filter coffee. So you can select what grind you
Oh,
want.
mint!
I mean,
There's-
I'll be
there's
honest.
pods
That
available for my
coffee maker,
machine for 35.
that coffee maker machine looks like it belongs in a steampunk house, and it looks fucking beautiful. So you know, I can understand the
You-
coffee machine. I can't understand the coffee. I would have the coffee machine purely for the aesthetic that it has.
Kyle,
Hell, what's wrong? Bear Grylls picked up an elephant shit and squeezed the water over, and you're getting pissy because we're picking coffee beans out.
I'm getting pissy because someone thought it was a good idea to follow an animal around and take the fucking shit away from it and go,
No,
that
because
makes
it
good coffee.
tenderizes the beans, makes it better.
Well, you guys know I have 2 coffee machines, yeah?
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
I thought you had
I've got-
3. Did you get rid of one?
No, one's the kettle.
One's the kettle.
Yeah.
One's on maternity leave.
Oh, that's Jay.
She's gonna slap you for that
Yeah.
one.
That's Jay dead.
There's
Good on
after
you,
the
Jay.
special and a decimal, and there's a special capable pods of the Black Ivory coffee. It's 3 pods and it's for 35 quid.
You know. But does that mean, go back to, I agree with what Kyle says, so he said humans are the least efficient. I agree, because that means all we can grow is sweet corn. We digest everything else. Any seeds, any berries, anything you eat, you digest other than sweet corn.
We can technically be highly efficient in our destruction of things because we can use every part of an animal, although we don't anymore. But it's kind of just unfortunate. But yeah, we are highly inefficient, unfortunately.
We're highly efficient at
Did you
extracting,
know that
breaking
you
things
can
down.
actually be buried without a coffin? You can put it in your will that you don't want a coffin, so you
Oh,
can
I
actually just be
thought
buried
you were
like
referring to your
that.
victims. That was,
No, you can actually be buried without a coffin. You can request it, and they will just put you in the ground as a body.
Is that so that it makes it easier for the worms so that they don't have to like knock on the door?
No, I think it's more. I think it's more if you can't be asked to buy a coffin because they're expensive as fuck. Because the funeral homes mark them up at 2 or 3 times the value price.
Yeah.
Because
Well, I
they
mean,
know because they know that most people think you need one to be buried.
well,
So why not?
to be fair, once
This
you're
is
dead,
why
you
I
can't
haven't-
complain.
I will say
Is
that's,
that the price?
one thing. That's one thing that pisses me off is essential things that cost ridiculous amounts of money for no fucking reason. It's like,
Do you
it's
know
like,
why?
It's like Lass's period pads or fucking toothpaste and things like that. It's things that are daily necessities now. Some things a little bit less daily necessity. Like I know some people don't brush their teeth every single day, so some people would argue toothpaste is a necessity. But things like period pads and bits and pieces like that are a fucking necessity.
Yeah.
And yet they are expensive as fuck because the companies know that they can make money from them because you have to buy them.
Kyle,
If we make our own fucking nation, I am making that shit free for everybody because there's no fucking reason you should have to pay to live.
right, a couple of things. First of all, stop saying period pads, you say sanitary towels. That's the word you're looking for.
No, I've always called them period pads. My
Fuck's
family
sake.
calls them that.
Right, anyway.
That's what they are.
Well, yeah, technically, there's different forms of. They're not always pads.
There
But
is,
anyway,
but
we're
there
not-
is,
we're
but
not-
we mostly use the pad. I'm mostly on
Yes.
about the pads, not the
Yes.
tampons and stuff, but
Right.
the tampons as well.
Yes, right. We're not getting into the schematics. Right. The second-
Female sanitary
aren't
equipment.
yes. Aren't they now? Isn't it now free in Scotland?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Which is
And
why I'm wondering why the fuck.
Why?
I
You
agree.
wanna know why they're free in Scotland?
It is called what?
Because
go
they've
on.
got a Scottish Prime Minister, that female Prime Minister.
No, it's because Scottish did the Scottish. What?
Scottish.
Scottish did the right. The Scottish did the right thing and went socialism.
Communism's
Good
the way
lad.
forward.
Good
Well,
lad, Jay.
Communism's the way forward. Nobody can complain if everybody's scared. Anyway, yeah. The other thing is as well. It's corporate greed, Kyle. Supply and demand. They know that you need it. That's
Yeah.
why it costs so much. Because if it was an Xbox, like Xbox is like 500 quid or a PlayStation or something, you don't need that. So if you haven't got 500 quid, you don't have one. You know what I mean?
Well, some people.
Well, yeah, but you know what I mean. Generally,
Yeah.
or a car when you buy a new car is like £10,000 upwards for like a cheap one because they know that if you haven't got 10 grand, you can do without a car. You can go on the bus, you can get a train. You know, a lot of people don't have cars, whereas everybody or almost every female does need these. Well, definitely does at some point in their life. So that's why it's just corporate greed. They know that it's a necessity. They know that a lot of people need it, so we'll charge you for it. It's ridiculous. I agree.
I feel like there should be a soap brand.
When you when we do
like
start our own country,
shower gel and shampoo and stuff, toothpaste, basically just toiletries.
you know when
Basic things that you need, like toilet roll as well. You can't live without toilet roll nowadays. We used to be able to, but now it's basically a necessity to be civilized.
when we start our own country and all sanitary shit is free and Freddo's on the economy,
Yes.
Yeah.
can we be the Scotlish Republic?
Scotlish Republic.
Yeah. Just because it
I'm
sounds
down.
fucking awesome.
I'm down with that.
Ooh,
The Scotlish
Oh,
Republic of
right.
Frederico.
Fuck's sake.
you're using my speech and like.
Impediment.
It's not your
It's not a
speech
speech
impediment,
impediment.
it was a brain fart, there's a difference. Your speech impediment sometimes means you slightly mispronounce a word or you can't say a word properly. Whereas that was just a brain fart, you just added letters.
You just added random bits and pieces.
Scotlish. Anyway. So,
Would you like to hear about the best case of someone skiving work ever?
go on then I've got something I want to talk to you about.
Right. This is the story of an electrician in Australia, of course,
Of course.
who used crisp packets to skip work 140 times in a year.
What?
Huh? What? How? Oh, is this that? Oh, what's his name?
Do you know that almost all crisps go to date on a Saturday?
Yeah.
Everywhere in the world. You check, go back and buy a crisp and check the date. It'll be a Saturday if you're not gone. Don't know why.
But no, yeah. Apparently though, there's a
Did he put a tracker in it or something because it's foil and it stopped it, or?
no. He did it to go and play golf, and basically what he did was, because the crisp packets of foil and stuff, there was, of course, he had a company car,
Yeah.
so it would track him where he went.
Yeah.
So he put the crisp packet around it. It created a Faraday cage and confused the tracker
Hold up, what, around the car?
around the tracker.
All right. See,
So-
I think this is crisp packets.
No, I said tracker. So he put it around the tracker and made it a Faraday cage to basically hide from his bosses, so that he used the company car to skive off 140 times, go and play golf, and basically it looked like he was on a job.
So yeah, I was right. You covered the track with a crisp packet.
Yeah. But that sounds like,
yeah, that's social
sorry to all
Australia.
Australians, but it sounds like the most Australian thing in the world to use a
Oh, we're not
crisp
sorry.
packet to fuck off and go and play golf 100 and skive 140 times in a year.
Upside down land.
Jordan,
I
you
know
know
how
you'd try if
That's
you
a good
could.
point, Jordan. Jordan raises a good point. How did the crisp packet not fall off?
Gravity.
That's
I'm
what I'm saying.
assuming
They
he
were
would have
upside
zip
down.
tied or used an electric band or something to keep it over the tracker.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't want to risk it falling off while you're driving to the golf. Or now it's a golf station. It's not a golf station.
To the golf station.
Golf range.
No, golf station.
What's it called?
Golfing green. The golfing green.
That's the one. Golfing club. It's a fucking club now.
Yo, is everyone forgetting that golf courses are a thing? Is that what everyone's looking for?
Yes, that's the word I'm looking for.
Don't know how usefully forgot it because like all I
Usefree.
got in the group chat, known for a fine fact, I couldn't go
Oh,
videos
here we
and
go.
pictures and that.
The
So I
problem.
muted the
bitty
group
party
chat.
chat.
The problem is, if someone says course, I immediately think educational. I don't think golf or stupid shit like that. Courses are educational, or they are food, not sports.
Yeah, but
Because you have
but-
your main course and
yeah,
your
but
first
Kyle,
course and your
golf,
second course and
golf
stuff.
backwards that way, so they say course.
Food. I bought a golf bat.
Club.
No,
No, I'm not part of
it
the club.
is. I was thinking about this. I know the scientific reason of why it should be called a bat and not a club, because a
It
bat
has a
you-
handle, it has a
the
head, you use it to
definition-
strike a ball, it is a bat.
Yeah, the definition of a bat is to wield it to hit a ball or a sporting object. It has a handle, it has a head. The definition of a club is a weapon to be used to bash someone's fucking skull in a time of war.
So it's only a golf club
or
when someone
for
pisses you off.
enforcement. So it's only
So
it's
for
only a
step-
golf club when it's in Scotland.
But if you take it to York, you can be shot.
To all American listeners and all the other listeners that are not UK
dear.
based, I'd like to inform you of Kyle's little joke now. I'd like to explain it to you. If you go to Scotland, there's two major towns you probably will visit. Everyone visits it.
Edinburgh.
It's Edinburgh and Glasgow. right?
Glasgow,
Now-
aye.
You go to Edinburgh
Yes.
first, because otherwise you get stabbed. You won't be able to get there if you go Glasgow first.
Yeah.
To be fair,
Edinburgh
you usually have
is
to go to Edinburgh
nicer.
first anyway.
Edinburgh is technically not Scotland because it's too nice.
That's how that
It's-
works.
It's
So,
part of our
this is-
northeast.
We've adopted it.
So there's a major difference when you're between Edinburgh and Glasgow, right? In Edinburgh, you see a guy walking around a golf club.
Or
He's
cricket
actually going
bat.
to go. He's going to go play golf. In Glasgow, someone's getting their head kicked in.
Yeah.
In a touche over.
See, so in
for a
Glasgow
Rangers
it's a
fan.
club, but in Edinburgh it's a bat.
It's like
Yeah.
it's like the whole thing of there's a store that recorded its selling patterns for the year, and it sold 3 baseballs, but like 100-something baseball bats.
Yeah, yeah. I remember. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. It's like
In all fairness-
anywhere that does that, you know they're not going to play sports.
In all fairness, golf, if I remember correctly, golf was invented in St Andrews, which
This-
is a bit of a rough area of Scotland anyway. So
It
therefore,
does
the
have
correct
a
term-
world famous and very nice golf course, though.
It does. So the correct terminology for the golf thingy-a-jig you hit the ball with is a
Thingy-a-jig.
club, because it's an Scottish invention and it was made
Created.
in St Andrews, which is a rough area of Scotland
Are
anyway.
you ready, Jay?
Can I just, for one split second, it's just the... Oh no, my brain's gone, continue.
Golf, the modern game of what we now call golf, originated in 15th century Scotland. And the first 18-hole round, what we would now call a round of golf, was created at the Old Course at St Andrews in 1764. So there
When
you
was
go.
football golf invented? Because that's the best kind.
The foot
golf.
golf.
Foot golf, yes.
Only a few years ago.
The one that doesn't
I
skin
keep-
my hands.
I keep when I go to work, I normally hit the A1.
Foot golf was invented in the Netherlands in 2008.
Every time,
Of course, it was in the Netherlands.
every time I go towards the A1 from where I live, there's a roundabout, and this roundabout has signs on that says "Foot golf this way."
Because foot golf is fucking awesome. We're going to go
Foot
do
golf looks amazing.
I
will-
have a
will
foot
say-
golf green next to me. If you guys are like ever want to come up and play,
Yeah, come up. You mean come down?
yeah,
Yourself.
come down and play.
I will say, I've remembered what I was going to say earlier. To all of our American listeners and viewers, the descriptions you've heard, this is why England is better, because we have to be creative when we go and kill people. We don't just shoot them.
Yeah, we take a golf bat and turn it into a club.
Yeah. We have to be inventive.
Yeah, 'cause
We
you can't do-
invented an entire sport just so we could make a brutal metal instrument to hit someone with.
Yeah, you can't just get a gun and shoot someone in this country if they piss you off. So you have to invent a sport, get a standard set of equipment made, preferably something that's long, easy to wield, destructive, and made of metal. And then you can then use that as a weapon on the street. Because if you walk around, if you're walking around and you get stopped, you just go, "Nah, I'm going to play golf, mate." But there's blood on it. No, the ball was red.
The ball was... I was using red powder on the ball to make sure I could see where my shot went.
Yeah,
You see, right? Yeah, America, England had a school shooting. Right. This was called the Dunblane Massacre. The Dunblane Massacre took place in Dunblane Primary School in, guess where? Scotland.
and then
In
course.
1996. And you know what that happened? The whole UK got together and thinking, yep, we don't need guns.
exactly. And now, and you think you go like, "Oh, it's for self-defense. It's for self-defense." But as Jay pointed out, that was Scotland, and nobody really has guns. When terrorists attack Scotland, they basically kick them in the balls so hard that they tear tendons in their own feet.
Yeah,
So
Wasn't
you don't
there
need
not
a gun
some
to defend
terrorists?
yourself either.
and
No,
fight
it's like-
away a terrorist with, what was it, a whale horn or a narwhal tusk?
It was a
or some
narwhal
stupid
tusk
shit.
and a fire extinguisher.
Yep.
Wasn't in Scotland there was like some terrorists and like they tried to run away and hide from Scottish people in a pub.
I don't
Yes.
know, but I don't.
No, it was a politician. It was when it
Oh,
was
politician,
when
yes.
it was when one. I think it was
Well,
when the
so
British
it's
Prime
basically
Minister
the same
went
as a
up there.
terrorist.
Was it like Tony Blair or David Cameron or
Probably
someone that
David
went
Cameron.
They tried to hide in a pub.
They're trying to hide from Scottish people in a pub.
One place
The
that,
most
like,
Scottish place
they're
in the world.
definitely going to be.
That's that's like going to a primary school to get
Oh
laid.
God, Jay. Well, if you're the
No.
Pope,
No, that's
Or the BBC.
that's like trying to hide in a
The Pope-
priesthood
the Pope-
by acting like a cherub.
oh God, right. I feel like we're getting off topic here.
Move
I'm going
on.
to bring it back to
We are
reality.
getting
What even is the topic?
But I'm going to bring it back
I think-
down
The
to
topic was golf
I
clubs.
think we're at the
topic
point now
that's
where
close
we're
to my
rambling.
heart. Because, as I've discussed with you before, you know how pigeons don't exist.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
The drone.
Pigeons are legitimately like the 6th fastest animal recorded in history as well. Anyway,
It's because
And
they're fast,
pigeons,
Kyle.
how can pigeons... wait, I must have been gone during this conversation, because I don't
We've
remember
had this conversation many times, Jay. You're probably just zoning out.
Probably. How do pigeons not exist when there's
Pigeons are government drones for spying on you. Have you ever seen a baby pigeon? No, exactly.
Yes,
But
yes.
there's more to that.
I can go down to my father-in-law's house. He lives 5 doors down from me. I can go down, knock on his door, and ask him to see baby pigeons because he's a pigeon
Do you know
man.
what that
please
means?
send Stefan a fucking baby pigeon
Jay,
picture.
do you know what that means? He's a government agent.
Oh shit! My father-in-law's a government agent.
Right.
Fucking conspiracy theories.
Now I'm about to
Is that
send
why
you...
you had a warrant out for your arrest?
Exactly, because because he knows that I know that pigeons aren't real. Right, as you can see, through the schematic I've sent you,
Oh god!
this is
Oh,
how
what the
pigeon drones work. They have charging coils on their feet, so now they don't have
Oh
to
dear
go
God!
back. They don't
It's
have
an
to go back to
inductive charging coil.
yes, because they don't have to go back to data collection centers to be charged and to have their information downloaded. Because now they can just land on power lines and charge themselves. But the reason I bring this up is because as I was milling about the internet earlier today, actually, I found a website that is www.pigeonsaren'treal.co.uk.
Oh dear God!
Are you ready?
Stefan.
Yes?
Stefan, I hate to break it to you.
What?
Look at the group. Look at the chat.
What? See, Big Brother is watching.
I said that picture to him last year.
Yeah. Exactly. So
Dear God!
yeah, there's a pigeon. So it talks about different things. You know when pigeons bob their head when they walk, so they're like,
Which most chickens and birds do,
right? You sound
because
like
it's a way
Nina.
to keep balance.
No, it's not. If you watch a
Does that-
pigeon walk, and this site links to a YouTube channel where you can see a video of a pigeon walking in slow motion. What they actually do is they move their head forward, and then when it looks like they're kind of bobbing it back, they actually move their body forward without moving their head. Their head stays perfectly still, and that's image stabilization.
It's not. It's fucking balance stabilization for a creature that has 2 legs and normally flies.
It's image stabilization for the camera. It's in a new edition in 2020 pigeon drones. They got Wi-Fi interceptors so they can perch on windowsills and hack your private network.
Good fucking luck. Not even I know the password to my network half the time.
That's because you don't work for the government. Yeah, so it still has like organic material and natural brain that embedded into these birds. So they kind of do their own thing. But there is biotech to control the pigeon via impulse processors.
So when
And
a
the
pigeon charges, is that why pigeons always sit on those spike things?
Yes,
You know, and it's like, oh, these are pigeon spikes. Stop pigeons sitting on them, but like pigeons always
To
sit
be
on them.
fair,
They're like
it
charging
kind-
station.
It kind of makes
Exactly.
sense when you think that if you're ever driving around England
good
and
Kyle.
you see a pigeon in the middle of the road, it will never fucking move out your way. It will just stand there and look at you until you swerve around it, or you manage to line it up so that you'll go over the top of it and it just goes in the middle of the car. And then you look in the mirrors and just see the fucker bob its head back up and stare at you as if you just clipped
Do
its head
you
off.
know why? And this is genuine. I'm being genuine here. No, I'm not being pigeon dronesy. Right? It's genuinely pigeons process images so fast that if you took a pigeon to a cinema to sit and watch a film, it would be bored because it processes images so fast that what we see as a moving picture is obviously thousands of frames moving very, very, very quickly. The pigeon would literally see as a slideshow, and then because that's how quickly they can process things. It's like 250 times faster than a human or something.
Isn't that the same thing with, like, a lot of flying animals are the same because they need to be able to do it in order to fly and actually not
Possibly.
crash, but isn't it the same as how, like, a fly's movement, the reason it's very hard to actually swat a fly or catch a fly is because we are basically moving in slow motion compared to them?
Yeah, we are, but that's because. But if we had the same processing power of these cameras that these drones have, then we would be that good.
Oh, God's sake.
Dude, I have
the
I have
human
YouTube
eye,
channels.
the human eye does actually process stuff at about the same speed as a fucking Ethernet cable half the time.
On that note, thank you for listening to TakenOffAir.
We might be taking off air now that they know that we're on the drones.
Do we not still have another half hour or something? What time are we on?
Like 9:30.
Yeah, it's 9:30.
When did we start?
Yeah, we didn't start till about 8.
We didn't start until like 8, so...
Yeah, I think we're just
That's-
rambling now.
We're not rambling. I'm telling you useful information about pigeons.
And this is where we see the FBI agents coming into Stefan's house.
Well, I have something that I wanna congratulate.
I sent you the link to the website. Jordan's just got
What
it.
the fuck was that, Jordan?
Jordan's watching football, so he's shouting "Get in!" because I'm guessing Newcastle just scored.
I am
Okay.
still 3-2.
Yeah, Jordan, they've got nothing to prove. They've already won the title.
I don't care. Still beating City
Anyway,
Jesus Christ!
with Scott Carson in there.
the Jesus is our striker.
Who's smacking something? Because all I can hear is something
Jordan.
banging against stuff.
Jordan's.
Have you
Barclays
have you
Bishop.
seen the merch on the Pigeons on Wheel website? They've got,
No,
like, a
but I'm
red
about
tag.
to.
There's no red tag that says "Make Pigeons Wheel" again.
Exactly. It's
Hey,
taking the piss out
right.
of Trump's red hat with "Make America Great Again." Did you get that?
I'm gonna buy these for my father-in-law, who's a pigeon man.
A pigeon man, fucking bird. Isn't it not a bird breeder or something? Not a pigeon man.
I'm
Oh, he
gonna.
raises pigeons.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
make.
so he's not a pigeon man.
I'm gonna make some kind of electromagnetic device so that I can scramble his drones.
Don't you mean EMP?
Well, no, I don't want to break them. I just want to scramble them so they get confused. It'll be funnier.
Hey, Christ.
I can't EMP shit, Kyle, because then people's like microwaves and all sorts blow up. I'd kill TVs.
Have you ever seen drone footage from the military? It's so shit. How the fuck would they manage to make any sort of good, decent drone with a
Right,
pigeon?
are you ready for my next show? I thought, since you said that, how comes you're at the theme park, right? You're on a
Yes.
roller coaster. You're doing
Right.
75 mile an hour.
Oh, this is to do with your picture,
Absolutely.
isn't it?
Absolutely crystal clear image. Yeah.
Yeah.
But somebody standing still robbing a post office and everything's pixelated.
Isn't that
Why?
something to do with the cameras are specifically designed to do that for some reason?
No,
So
why?
that they
why?
pick up
Well, that
only the
makes
key
no
features or
sense.
some shit. It does sort of make no sense, but it's also so that it gets a recognizable thing. It's like
But it
the
doesn't.
stores. The stores have like
Have you noticed that, like, when a store gets robbed and posted a picture all over the internet, and they're like, "Oh, have you seen this man? It's all pixelated." Have you noticed it's always a fucking cheapskate owner that owns that shop who is like a corner shop that had never spent any money on the new security upgrades in like 60 years.
what was that I saw earlier? There was something I saw earlier. A black man wore
Oh, God.
wore the mask of a white man so that he could rob places. He robbed like 20 stores before he got caught, and they realized he was a black man because he wore like one of the weird like rubberized masks of a face with like ginger hair, and he wore a hoodie and everything. And apparently, it was good enough to
Did they
fool
think it was
people
Prince
into
Harry?
thinking he was white.
I thought you was been sorry.
I can't remember where what it was in America, but I can't remember like who he
Also,
was
it was
or,
in
anything,
America.
or when it was. But
That's
yeah,
Prince Harry.
he legitimately got a white man mask. He whited up and
Did you
robbed
s-
20 places.
Did you see the guys that try to rob a place by duct tape on their face but didn't even cover their face?
Yeah,
All the guys
mean-
painted their face with UV paint so that the security cameras couldn't see them because they just looked white, but everyone just recognised them because they could see their face because human eyes don't pick up UV.
Wasn't there also a case of someone tried to cover his face in lemon juice
Yes.
to block the
It's
CCTV?
yeah, it's the same kind of principle.
Yeah.
Humans are smart. Oh, well, we're the master race. You can see why.
Just stick to a pair of stockings that distort your face by squashing your nose and all sorts.
Okay,
It's the
Kyle, I feel like
traditional
that's
one.
a personal preference.
It's the traditional one.
Well, so you look
Right.
like an unhappy spaniel when you do get the CCTV footage released.
Yeah. I mean, why not?
Hey.
I've already talked about that one. I'm looking through the topics that I've still got.
Have you got anything about war?
I do. I have loads about war, but one of them is to do with the glorious Soviet Union.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Is it where there was a school shooting in Russia?
No.
Russia
This is that a Soviet cosmonaut who was on the International Space Station outlasted the collapse of his country because he left Earth as a Soviet and he returned home as a Russian because the Soviet Union collapsed while he was in space. So he outlived the Soviet Union, believing he was still a Soviet until he got home. He was a Soviet when he left Earth and he was a Russian when he came back.
Hold on.
He was the last.
He believed he was still a Soviet until he got home. That doesn't count.
No, it's the sort of thing of he was technically still a Soviet citizen because he wasn't actually in the country or anything when it happened. He was in space, and
all right. So does that mean
he is officially classed as the last Soviet citizen?
So does that mean if you are in the UK and you moved away in 2002 and you went live in America, as long as you don't return back to the UK, then you're still as part of the EU because you weren't there when they had Brexit?
No, I think it's because he was in space, not because he was still on planet Earth.
Well, that's bullshit. I'll just sit on the moon and go, I'm not coming back, you've ruined it.
Apparently,
this is Scotlish.
Apparently, it was in the spring of 1993, 3 decades after Gagarin's historic flight, Sergei Krikalev and Anatoly Odzheborsky.
Just the resident Russian and not be able to read the Russian names.
It's literally spelled Odzheborsky. So Odzheborsky. I'm going to say it's Odzheborsky. Were to follow in his footsteps, but first they kept up the tradition Gagarin had started back in 1961. The men marched to the right rear tire of the bus, unzipped their spacesuits, and pissed on the wheel. For some reason, that is the.
Oh no! Yes, he done that, didn't he? And
tradition.
now every single Russian astronaut does that.
Yeah, it's like a good luck
Before they
sign
go to space, yeah.
To the world, space travel had become routine because there was dozens of bits and pieces. Events on Earth would soon distract the world and set a new course for manned spaceflight that continues today. After blasting off, they wouldn't inhale earthly air for 312 days. In that time, the soft-spoken cosmonaut would watch his country crumble from 200 miles up. Presidents would change. His hometown of Leningrad would become St. Petersburg, and one communist superpower would splinter into 15 nations.
Hold on.
So by the time he came back, his hometown had changed name. The president had changed. His communist superpower had split into 15 nations, and he was the last Soviet citizen.
Hold on. All right. Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
Right. So was he on the space station?
I don't know if he was in space station or just in space.
Wait, because you said he was there for how long?
He was up there for a year, basically, 312 days.
Right, so I'm assuming he would have been in the space station.
Yeah, I'm assuming he was in the ISS.
So you said he didn't breathe earthly air for 300 and something days, but he still did. Because
It's recycled air, yeah.
Yeah, I've just googled how does the space station have air. The short answer is that astronauts and cosmonauts, that means a Russian astronaut, brings oxygen from Earth. They make more oxygen by running electricity through water, which is electrolysis. The air and water on the space station all originally came from Earth, so he's still breathing earthly air. So fuck your bullshit.
Yeah, it was basically. It's the same as if you're underwater. Everything gets recycled, so your air gets recycled, your water gets recycled, everything gets recycled. The first Britain in space...
you grow a new body every 7 years?
Yeah.
Yes, because you shed so many skin cells and stuff. Helen Sharman, the first Britain in space, launched with Krikalev in May 1891, which was his second trip. So the first Britain in space went with him.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue with your body thing.
It's your skin obviously dies, you shed it, and you replace it. But basically, different cells regenerate at different speeds and stuff. But on average, every 7 years, you can pretty much guarantee that every single cell in your body will have been replaced.
Yeah, because it's constantly replacing cells. You have to.
Yeah.
If you don't, you would just crumble up and die, basically. You would shrivel up.
Well, that's what happens eventually anyway.
Because
we replace the cell, but we don't apparently make it any younger than what it was when we replaced the other one.
No, it's just like it's literally just a replacement. Otherwise, we would never age. That's why that's how vampires wouldn't age.
Exactly.
They would just replace the cells back. Apparently, as the spacecraft approached Mir, which was the space station for the Russian side, the targeting system failed. Her heart raced, knowing that a miss could be deadly. But Krikalev's aim was flawless, even without any guidance, and they boarded without issue, joining an existing crew.
Mir is the Russian space station.
MIR, I think it's the.
Does that mean?
I think that's the Russian section of it, because they've got like different sections are controlled by different nations, basically.
So does that mean the three wise men took Jesus, some precious metals, some perfume, and a Russian space station?
I knew it. I knew you were going there.
That puts a whole new perspective on the Bible.
Hey, the place would suit you well. Mir had a well-earned reputation as a smelly, noisy place.
How does that suit me well? I'm like smells or noise. You're calling me smelly and noisy.
Yeah. I'm saying your farts are stinky and loud.
Well, it did get sent to the Middle East, so you can't blame it.
For 20 years, you can't deny the fact that we don't know you.
I know you tried to block it out, but it's actually been longer than 20 years.
Are you? Yeah, it has. Are you ready? Are you? Well, we've known each other since first school, and
we've known each
27,
other
so probably like
roughly
25.
About 3, so yeah, about 24, 25, yeah.
So
does that make you feel old? Jim?
Yes, we have to. We've known each other for about 24, 25, yeah.
Can I go back in time and shoot myself?
No.
Only if you shoot me.
Are you ready for the best description of a space station ever?
Is it a gift to Jesus?
You can't beat my description of a space station the other day at work.
What was your description?
Big round thing that hangs around a space.
Well, to be fair, when Kyle mixes up the acronym, he does refer to it as ISIS.
It is. It's the ISSSI. No, apparently Mir had developed the distinct aroma of sweaty men locked in a small house with cognac.
Is that frankincense?
In all fairness, that's like a good synopsis of what a space station is.
Yeah, the constant maggot from fans and pumps and other machinery was enough to cause hearing loss. But to Krikalev, none of that mattered. He always said when he got into the space station, he felt like he was going home. So he enjoyed being there more than he enjoyed being at Earth.
So would you if you live in Russia.
Every time you went, every spare moment to try to look at Earth, apparently one of the hobbies he had was he'd search the planet for places he'd been or heard about. So if he had heard about a place, he would like watch the planet rotate and try and find it.
Sorry. Basically, that description is the perfect description of how our office is going to be like.
What, we're going to
It
wait for
is.
the Earth to go past so we can find places we've been?
No, a small cram space that's smelly.
That smells like cognac.
It smells like sweaty man and cognac. Sounds about right, honestly. Although it would be more coffee, I think, with you two. And tea for me.
Hey, if we don't have to drive home, it'll be alcohol.
So our office space now needs hammocks. To be fair, I want a hammock anyway. Deal for hammocks.
When we get sent to sleep on the couch, we can just go to the office instead and sleep on the hammock.
Are you guys ready for the best game ever?
I'm playing the best game ever at the minute.
Is it football?
No.
Is it Monopoly?
No, I'm playing Resident Evil Village at the minute.
Because you lucky twat. Fuck you. Don't tell us anything. Don't spoil it.
Big vampire lady and the.
He's got full Jordan on you.
I know the big vampire lady. You know the.
And her 3 daughters. You have no idea. You'd be jumping out of your skin, but also your fucking
Jay.
cock could be jumping out of your pants as well.
Jay, I've seen a little bit of it. The daughters look like Mariah Brink from In This Moment. I can't unsee that because Mariah Brink's done a couple of music videos recently and they look similar. It's mad. No, I'm talking about Monopoly.
There's a life-size game of Monopoly.
Monopoly is the greatest board game ever.
Monopoly is the greatest game, especially when it is played
upside
to the
down.
point, especially when there is the record for the longest Monopoly marathon ever played, where brothers from the Sigma Alpha Mu fraternity
for fuck's sake,
played for 5 days straight.
And they never spoke to each other ever again.
They played for 5 days straight. As they played, the brothers pooled their resources and split into teams. It was 2v2, but with the players working together, it became much harder to knock anyone out the game. The quote is saying, somebody had a Monopoly game and we started to play this thing, and sooner or later we realised that we couldn't end it.
Pussies.
According to the man whose name Leeds and who will be 70 this January, which this article was made in 2012, the game was done in 1961, by the way, so it's an old game.
Yeah.
But he still remembers to remark a detail. He says, the game dragged on for hours into Monday night. When it still hadn't ended by Tuesday morning, the brothers all decided that they couldn't just stop. They wanted to let people know they weren't going to. So Leeds called KDKA, Pittsburgh's local news affiliate, and told them, hey, we're in the middle of a Monopoly game that we can't end, and we're going to keep this thing going. Apparently they said they told the KDA they could send someone down to the fraternity house if they wanted to see the game for themselves. At 3 a.m. on Tuesday morning, a representative found the brothers still hard at play and decided to pick up the story. By the time dawn rolled around on Tuesday, the 4 brothers needed to think of a way to keep the game going and still attend their other commitments like class, so they started playing in shifts with other fraternity brothers and pledges playing for the teams in their absence. Different people would take shifts of about an hour or an hour and a half, and there were about 30 people who played the game at one time or another over the course of the 5 days. On Wednesday, so once it had been going for 3 days, it ran into some trouble. Can anyone guess what the trouble was?
Someone broke rank and tried to fuck everyone.
No. As anyone who's ever brushed...
people.
As anyone who's even brushed Monopoly will be aware, a player receives £200 every time he or she passes the space go. They pass go so many times, the bank had run out of money.
Yeah.
So naturally, the players wired Parker Brothers, the maker of Monopoly, to suggest a course of action. As recorded in the Pitt News story about the debacle, the coverage of the game, and the current directions to Monopoly itself, Parker Brothers did not let this stand. Upon receiving the message of the Marathon Gamers' distress, They wired them back, saying, "Refuse to let bank fail, rushing $1 million Monopoly dollars to you by airmail. Carry on." According to the Pitt News story, the brothers loaned back some of their Monopoly money to the bank so they could continue playing while the reserve funds were being flown to Pittsburgh International Airport. The £1 million in Monopoly money was picked up at the airport by Brink's security armoured trucks and driven to the fraternity house, arriving on Thursday night, by which time the brothers had broken the bank again. They got an armoured truck of Monopoly money delivered to them.
Fuck's sake, this is the stupidest
Imagine being at a university in 1961, seeing an armoured truck deliver Monopoly money so they could continue a marathon of
For
Monopoly.
a start, only Americans would have to put Monopoly money in an armoured fucking truck. Right. Secondly, how long was this game?
5 days.
Challenge accepted. As soon as we get an office, we're breaking this.
And since they started on Monday, and it arrived on Thursday night, basically they only had the £1 million Monopoly pounds for the 5th day, and that's it. They only had it for about a day and a half.
We'll just buy a couple of sets of Monopoly. I'm sure you can buy Monopoly money loose.
But apparently it was picked up by major news outlets across the country, including the Wall Street Journal. According to one of the players, the Journal thought the game was an excellent representation of inflation. The story from a magazine reported that several economics professors suggested their students watch the game and see how the value of money can be deflated when too much of it is in circulation. The game went on for 2 more days, but with finals fast approaching, the brothers knew it would have to end sometime. They decided to end it on Saturday, December the 2nd, at the fraternity founders' day dinner. "You get pretty crazy after playing Monopoly for 5 days," he said. The article reported that the last dice were thrown by the Parker brothers' vice president Randolph Barton, leaving the final results at Finkel and Leeds with 146,000 and Paulinoff and Vogel with 133,000.
Right, so
after
there were
5 days, after 5 days and 120 and a half hours, history's longest Monopoly game was over. At the dinner, Barton awarded the fraternity with a wooden embossed edition of Monopoly, as well as 100 copies of assorted games, which were donated to the Greater Peter United Fund and distributed at Christmas. At the time, Vogel was quoted in the Pitt News as saying there will be no rematch, at least not until the end of this trimester. But I'm guessing they never got round to the rematch, because there's no other cases of it going on that long.
Yeah, that's a fun thing. Let's travel back to 22 years in the past. Yeah.
Okay.
You guys know that Monopoly was a game invented by Christopher Hutton in the 1900s in Leeds.
Right.
In 1939, Christopher Hutton was employed by the British Secret Service MI9 to help prisoners of war escape from Germany prison camps across Europe during the war. Large numbers of British airmen crashed over the enemy airspace and were held as prisoners behind enemy lines. MI9's role was to get many back to safety as possible, and Christopher Hutton's role was very similar to James Bond's Cube. Hutton experimented with a lot of different escape ideas, including cloth maps sewn into uniforms, compasses so small could be hidden in the back of buttons, blankets, and clothing patterns on them, which could be cut and sewn together by the prisoners of war, and shoe heels and knives hidden in them. Germany prison guards discovered many of these things were found in Hutton's game of Monopoly.
Yes.
Yeah, he made the Monopoly so that he made the special bits. I'm sure there was also a case of someone had made a game and sent it to them, and like the board of the game was the map of the prison, so that they could just use it as a way to go find the way out.
Yeah, there's been Cluedos and Monopolies and all sorts that they've done it with.
Christopher Hutton was employed by MI9, a guy who invented Monopoly in the 1900s, early 1900s, was employed by a British Secret Service to get prisoners of war out by hiding stuff inside Monopoly.
By hiding stuff inside the rectum.
Why the hell not?
I'm sorry, right? If us four were prisoners of war and we're stuck in a cell and we got delivered Monopoly, we wouldn't escape. We would spend 5 days playing the
We've
fucker.
spent 6 days breaking the record, then escape.
Yeah, would probably figure out within the first hour, right, this is what all this is for, let's plan the escape. And then we'd all go, first though, we've got to beat a fucking record.
The record that was set 22 years later.
Well, yeah, we'd be the ones that set the previous record then. We need to try that record at some point.
Oh, we're gonna. Don't you worry.
I'm gonna, since we've only got 10 minutes, I'm gonna finish it off with a nice light-hearted topic, and it's a topic where Wales have done well for once.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Not the Welsh.
Don't say that for fuck's sake.
Only good thing about the Welsh is they say Bumblebee funny.
No, I want to try and find more information on this guy because I think he's doing well, right? This is the case that Wales has elected the youngest mayor. He's the youngest ever mayor in Wales. He's the first.
He the non-binary dude?
He's the first ever openly non-binary mayor in any city anywhere, and
What's non-binary?
It's
Does that mean he doesn't
basically
work computers?
he doesn't have a gender.
But he's male.
Like if the image of him is literally he's wearing a dress with the mayoral necklace and one of those fluffy Victorian frothy fucking tie things. But I'm more interested in the fact that he's a 22-year-old who became a mayor of a town in Wales. I want to know what sort of shit he can get up. I want to follow his career as being mayor of Wales, but I want to see if he's one of the two types, which type of 22-year-old he is, because
the one that pretends he hasn't got a gender even though he's got a dick.
No,
he's offended by everything.
He's our yeah, that's the thing. He's our age group, so he could either be.
No, our age group. He's Generation Z. He's a waste of oxygen.
He's not. He's 22. Isn't 22 still
No.
in our?
No, Kyle.
No.
We're 25 plus.
Ah, okay, never mind then, because I thought he was in our age group, so I was saying he's got a chance of either being okay or being a whiny little bitch, but no, he's just a whiny little bitch.
There is a man that is saying, I'm not a man, you can't call us a man or I don't have a gender, and you're saying he might not be a whiny little bitch.
I mean, to be fair, I'm not fussed by all that. I just want to know can mayors do policies and stuff?
It's really hurting my feelings the way you keep saying mayor.
Same.
Mayor?
Mayor.
Mayor? It's Italian coming out. Mayor. It's a mayor.
That's what you say, it's mayor?
No,
He's the mayor of the Wales.
It's mayor.
Mayor.
I have always said mayor. I always hate it when people go, I am the mayor.
Well, they're not a fucking
it's
That's
mayor.
the job title. Listen to what they're saying, Kyle. If he said, I am the mayor, he is the mayor.
It's because the only person who I've actually spoken to, who I've seen, who calls himself the mayor,
was a
fucking
mayor.
Boris, because he's a twat. I have met the fucking mayor of
No.
I met the mayor of, I don't know if it was the mayor of Northumberland or something, but I met them because they went to me fucking nana's birthday party and they called themselves the fucking mayor.
You've devolved this into just me, Joe, and Jay all going, mayor.
You have.
No, you have.
No,
You have.
I've met a mayor who went to my nana's fucking birthday party and he called himself the mayor.
Can we talk about Kyle being Italian?
I have met two mayors actually, because one of them comes to the school every once in a while.
We sound like sheep, yeah? Meh.
Dude,
It is, it's just meh.
Thank you for pointing that out, Ash.
You know what? Asimo.
Meh.
Meh.
Meh. This is all it is now.
Dude,
it's just evolved to us.
You know
being
what Asimo, the robot, the Honda robot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. You know how it's really like human-like, and it can stand up
Asimo.
and it can do all human-y things.
Humanoid.
Yes.
Air quotes.
Yeah. So it's appeared and done.
Is he non-binary?
No.
Or does he have a lot of 01010001s?
Yes. Right. No. Listen.
To be fair, at one point I did want a tattoo of binary.
When
Does that mean if I get a tattoo of binary, I can say I'm fully binary?
He is. Yes. Exactly. Get the binary for man. Right. Anyway, that has.
I was going to get the binary of I am human.
No, you're not.
That's a lie. And
You
it's
know
off
it is.
That's a lie. I like how that's the first
I
bit
am
that
the
came out.
mayor.
The Mia.
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
be the mayor of Scotlish.
Scotlish. You're the
Scotlish.
Scotlish mayor. No, anyway, you right. The awesome what when it does speeches in different countries, they obviously program it with a different language, and it stands and it does a speech and blah blah blah, except from when the creators,
Please
the
tell
little,
me it spoke Scottish.
no, the little Japanese guys from Honda, it will have at some point, or at least English. But when they took it to Italian and they programmed it with Italian, they also programmed it to do the flamboyant hands and hand gestures when it's talking. So they went full racist and went, well, if he's going to be talking in Italy, he might as well be going, ba-ba-da-boopy. I am the mayor.
I need to find a video of that because it's going to be the best thing ever. A
Yeah,
robot
but-
trying to talk with its hands. Oh, fucking hell, I love it.
Kyle.
Anyway,
Kyle,
yes.
what sound does a sheep make?
Bah.
Or
Nah.
meh?
No. Bah. Fucking
Or
bah.
meh?
Mayor.
No!
Thank you for listening to Taking Off Air. I'm your host.
Take it off, meh?
Taking Off
Take
Air.
off, meh.
Right.
If that's what a sheep sounds like, is that why he's the Welsh meh? That's broken, Jay.
He said meh, though.
Just because I was talking about sheep.
For fuck's sake. Maybe that's why he wants to be non-binary, because if they can't nail down the sex of the sheep, then maybe they'll not do the sex with the sheep.
Well,
Thank you very much for listening to Taking Off Air. I'm your host,
Taking Off
Jay.
Air.
You've been
I'm your
joined
host,
by-
Kyle. We're going to be taking off air very soon for that fucking joke, I think.
We've been joined by Kyle. We've been joined by...
John.
And we've also been joined by
Jay.
He's just going to stay silent.
Stefan. Follow us on all social media, facebook.com/takeonofair. You can also follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/takeonofair. Follow us on Instagram at instagram.com/Repticide Productions. We have our own Reddit page where you can submit topics and other shit. There's some members there, but there's never really been conversion. That's reddit.org/r/takeonofair. It's a .org or it's a .com, one of the two. Go to our website at TakenOffAir.com. You can buy merch. The new website is launching at the mid of this month, sometime next week or the week after. Also, you can support us by just sending us £1 for coffee at buymeacoffee.com/TakenOffAir. Support us on Patreon at patreon.com/TakenOffAir. And also, if you're part of the Acast network, if you're just a listener on Acast, we have links to go to and support us on Acast. We don't give a shit about the money. If you want to support us without giving us money, just simply subscribe to us, follow us on all the preferred podcast listening platforms, and get all your mess to listen to us.
I mean, I think they know that we don't give a shit about money when we're talking about making a Freddo currency. Make it happen, people.
Well, as long as we don't
I will
have
be
inflation,
your,
people
I will
stop
be
buying too
your
many
mayor
Freddos.
of Scotlish. I will be your mayor of Scotlish with Freddos.
You will never be an
Goodbye.
elected mayor as long as you fucking say mayor.
Since it's
I'll make it my
meh.
duty. I will lure you into a village where I can say you're Welsh and shoot you.
Anyway.